What impact to Bali tourism does the recent war in Israel and Iran, and also the Lower Tobi volcano have to visitor traffic coming into Bali during peak season? Are your properties going to be affected and the hotel industry going to be affected by this conflict and turbulence in the market? Let's take a look at an examination of this volcano first. The volcano that is erupting Lower Tobi is the second eruption since March, and this time it's a little bit different and of reason to be concerned. In my previous video, I analyzed the direction in which the wind was blowing, and at that point, the wind was blowing the ash away from Bali. This time, unfortunately, the Lower Tobi volcano has actually blown the ash towards Bali. So the trade winds are a seasonal occurrence and they reverse about every 6 months. So this time the trade winds are actually blowing that ash from that volcano a bit more aggressively than before. But as we can see, flights are still coming in, cancellations are few and far between, so we should still expect the same amount of visitor traffic coming to Bali. Now, number two, anyone following the news has seen all the missile attacks that have been going aggressively over the Israel-Iran conflict. And this has created a very interesting question. Will flights from Europe be affected on their way to Asia, especially in particular Bali? Well, the good news is this. Let's take a look at the stats. So, looking at this map over here, you'll see that flights are now being routed around the area of conflict, and global trade is continuing as such before. This is a really good news because this I've seen happen before during the Ukraine conflict and during other areas where there was a hot war going on. Airlines will generally just fly around the area rather than through it to avoid being accidentally struck by a missile and causing an airborne catastrophe. What does this mean? In conclusion, it looks like even though there's disruptive events that are happening, it seems like the air traffic network is robust enough to adapt to these changes by rerouting flight plans. This is, of course, to be expected. Airline travel network is extremely robust to counter against regional and even international disorders so that the, let's say, global trade and commerce can continue on this way. So I think this is good news for Bali. This means that perhaps the impact on peak season travel can be minimal as long as everybody doesn't lose their hat and go crazy and worry about it. Because what we've seen that really kills travel is concern on the market side on supply, then draws a concern on the demand side, and then this reflection just keeps on going back and forth and creates even more panic. So if you're a property owner or a villa owner or a hotel owner, you can expect the same amount of travel to come back this year despite these circumstances because the airline network seems to be doing its job on routing traffic around the conflict areas quite effectively.